This is the Pro ToGo. Usually it's shipped where the tube is outside of the tin, and the reason being is that the protection of the plunger inside, that cap, this is an extra device that's put on, and when this is on for shipping purposes, the tin doesn't quite close. So they're wrapped separately. Some people want to order 2 or 3 tubes, so we always ship the tube separate outside the tin. Once you get the tin and you remove this end cap, then it will fit in the tin actually. So when I open up the tin, there's a couple different versions in here. This is the Bondic Evo. The Bondic Evo has the LED. People ask how you remove the cap. You just twist like a little slight bit and it pops off like that. And then when you put it on, just find it with a little turn clockwise and it'll snap into place there. There's a little groove where it goes into. And the idea is that you can squeeze your hands here for the liquid to come out. So you can squeeze your fingers together. And then what's really important when you use the light is you go really close. 2, 3, 4, and then you can add a little bit more if you want. But go close. This isn't correct, far away. This isn't correct, going around isn't correct. I want the whole thing to be illuminated for 4 seconds. If you've got a long stripe, so if you've got a long stripe like this, then I want this to be 4 seconds, 2, 3, 4, this to be 4 seconds, 2, 3, 4, etc. And you're going all the way down so that the whole thing is hardened. That's how that works. Now, the Pro ToGo, there's generally a shaping tool with the Evo, and that has 3 different types of surfaces. So you've got the 2 different coarsenesses, and then you've got something that you can make it smooth afterwards, okay? And a little trick is that it's generally very clear. When you sand something, it'll get opaque, and then you put a drop or half a drop on just to make it wet, and it'll be see-through again pretty much. So that's the shaping tool. You can use that to create a rough surface so that the Bondic fluid has space and surface area to go into. It'll bond. When the surface is very smooth, then it's hard for the Bondic to hold on to it. So if you can roughen it up, that means on a microscopic level, the Bondic works its way down the grooves. This is a plunger for the tube, and there's a cap here where I can unscrew, and I can screw in one of the nozzles. I'll get to that in 1 second. But it's important that this washer's on. I'll do a quick demonstration here. You've got the tube and it's closed right now, and there's a cap in there all the way at the back actually. But this is designed to have a little bit of air leakage if you take a listen. And the reason for that is that as I'm pressing in, I want the air to escape a little bit through this little spot here. I don't want it to be compressed because then immediately I'd start pushing out fluid. So when you get the tube at the beginning, it's filled up, and you're going to hold it like this, and you're slowly going to press down as you need it. When you're done, give it a little bit of a tug backwards. Create a bit of back pressure, and you'll suck the fluid back in. I'll do that in a minute. But that's what this plunger's for. Obviously, as you get further down, it gets a little bit easier to hold, but you can just pull it up like this and manipulate it down as you need it. Here you have 30 mils of fluid in, versus here you have 4 mils of fluid. So here's your tip. You've got several of them. Ideally, you don't want the tip to get UV light on it, because if it cures on the inside, that's hard to clear. If it cures on the tip, you can knock it off with your fingernail or with a knife. So when you get your tube, you'll unscrew this part here, and you will put this tip on, and you will screw it in like so. So now there's your tip. So there's air basically from where you screwed this on until this area here. You can put in your plunger, and you can start to press. You can do it one-handed or two-handed, and now it's slowly going to start to come out. You'll feel the resistance. Do you see it come out of the tip there? This is the fluorescing fluid, so it looks a little bit different. It's the BondicPRO. And then when you're done, just pull it back a little bit. Now it's at the beginning, it's a bit tougher, but if you pull it back a little bit, you're stopping the flow from coming out. Then you can take your LED and see how that's fluorescing, and see how close I go. I go on an angle. I don't want the bulbs to touch it, but I'm basically going on an angle. I can rotate that a little bit so the light gets it everywhere. 2, 3, 4, and that's hard plastic now. All right? can add a little bit more. So I can do it with one hand if I like. Can stabilize that till it's a bit further. Don't forget to use the tip to move the fluid around. So you can move it around if you have to. You don't have to just drop it. You can create a surface or create a new amount of plastic, right? As long as it's wet, you can manipulate it. When I pull this out, just give it a bit of a quick tug to stop the fluid from leaking out. Later on, you're going to pull it back here and here, but right now it's quite filled up. And then when I want to cure it, I basically, see the light dots there? I'll move that around, but look how close I am. That's the quick way of curing it. When you're done, turn off your LED and put this in slowly, but pull this out a little bit just so you get the pressure off, because there's fluid in this area here. You may want this to rest on a paper towel so you can wipe it down. Maybe you can reuse that bag there, and basically that's ready to go back in the tin. If you're going to travel with it, it might be good just to put this in, all right? And then you're done with that.